And at a busy crossroads in Greater Manchester, I'm impressed with this historic piece of architecture.
That's one handsome-looking building.
We're just 4 miles southeast of Manchester city centre now, in the busy inner city area of Longsight, to see a building that's in a prime location.
Standing at the crossroads, wondering which way to go.
And it's this former bank spread over 3 floors, which came with a guide price of £400,000. That's one handsome-looking building. Let's go look. You can hear the bank alarm in the background. Might be shut out when this closes. Wow, what a mess. There's an awful lot of rubble here, really just heaps and heaps of rubble. You need to get the place cleared out. It feels like somebody's made a start here and abandoned ship. Wow, above those tiles I can see the grandness of the original roof. That's gorgeous. You've got coving, original features, love it. Let's see what else there is. More rubble. The place is full of the stuff. Now, a quick look around, a recce off this ground floor leads me to think there's only one staircase to serve 3 floors. Now, if you did want to convert this, say, into flats, then you would have to think about making a separate entrance from that high street up to the first floor. Certainly something to think about. Well, what do we have here? I do like a feature in a property, and this is brilliant. It's a vault in a bank. Listen to that echo. Oh, I do like it, just a bit different. However, I don't envy the buyer who has to get rid of this vault. It can be very tricky.
Yes, this vault could be just as hard to break out as it was to break into.
Get out of here.
I suspect it's constructed from steel and reinforced concrete. And like the rest of the ground floor, it's cleaning out the bank. This'll be the first of many challenges here.
Get out of here. Do I make it clear?
It'll take plenty of withdrawals and quite a few deposits at a local tip before you'll be able to gauge the space in this investment.
Upstairs and into a spacious area which has been used as a kitchen. It really does have a commercial feel. You've got the office-style carpets, not the most inviting windows given they've got bars on them, but this has, of course, been a bank. The good news about the kitchen is that you have some plumbing in place. I've also spotted some radiators. You always want to make sure your central heating is safe and up to scratch. And then this room is a fantastic size, a little bit of an echo. I would say it's grander, but it's kind of in a state of disrepair. Look at this wall, just crumbling away. There's been damp issues here. Likewise, around these windows, you really want to get this investigated. The windows themselves are single glazed. Not ideal, especially if you're considering flats, making residential property up here. If you had bedrooms this side on that noisy road, you'd never get a good night's sleep.
So double or triple glazing is a must here.
Oh, I said I need to get to sleep.
Yep, tired, rundown and jaded really sums up the state of this building. This is really just a bare shell waiting for someone to come in and create something new here.
Upstairs at the top of your property, you've got effectively what feels like a room. There's no window in that room. You want some natural light coming in. Might not be too tricky because here's a window that's been bricked up. So you may well be able to reinstate that without too much difficulty. When it comes to thinking about what you're going to do with this property, it's not immediately obvious. You could convert into flats, you could keep as commercial, you could do a bit of both, but whoever takes it on needs a fair bit of vision.
This building isn't just at a crossroads from a location point of view, it's also at a crossroads in terms of which direction its future lies. Commercial, residential, a mix of both? Perhaps a local property expert can steer us on the right road.
Tell me what you see.
Knowing the area as I do, this area screams out for commercial lets. So I would try and maximise my profits and yield by putting in 2 or 3, maybe even 4 if I could actually work it out, commercial units The footfall is amazing. You would have takers on this. The crossroads is iconic. Everyone knows this area, and people know this property. This former bank is a landmark of the area.
Well, it's interesting to hear of a thriving high street and that new businesses can still play a key role here. But if it was to be commercial downstairs, what about the first and second floors?
There is still potential upstairs to make a couple of residential units, 2-bedroom flats, maybe 3 of them, looking at the square footage. It would take significant work, but would all be profit, because your main money is going to come from the commercial lets.
So with what was a £400,000 guide price, you could end up with maybe 4 commercial units and 3 2-bed flats. What kind of rental return could that net you?
If we were to maybe slice this up and take 4 commercial lets, all with the shop front at the front of the crossroads, I'd be expecting around £2,000 a month per unit.
Which would be £96,000 a year from the commercial units alone. Then you'd have the potential flats to rent out or sell on.
So if a developer were to put in a fairly remodelled and new-ish 2-bedroom flat above this property, I'd expect to achieve around £450 a month. I'd be expecting a 2-bed flat to go for somewhere in the region of £90,000 to £100,000.
This former bank comes with a hefty price tag, and whoever takes it on will need some deep pockets. But it's in a fantastic location, and let's face it, it's a fantastic property. Let's find out who thought it was a price worth paying when it went to auction.
OK, lot number 6. Got former bank, about 2,443 square feet, accommodation over 3-storey plus basement. Where should we be on this one? Should we say 400? Got 400. Can we say 420? Standing up right to the back at 420. 440 I need, sir. Yep, 440, yes.
Well, there was huge interest in this huge building, and we rejoin with bidding now at £625,000.
625, is that, sir, right at the back? Yeah, 625. 630, sir? 630 I've got. 635. 635. 640. Back with you, sir. Need 640. 645. Can we say 645? I can. 650. 650. 655 at the back, I need. Quick decision. Can we say 655? At 650,000 in the front then. First, second and final time at £650,000. Are we done? We are. It's yours, sir. Can I see your paddle, sir?
And so the hammer finally fell at £650,000, a whopping £250,000 above the guide price. The man who bought it was property developer Imtiaz, and it was him and his wife Shabnam who I caught up with back at their bank job.
Shabnam, pleased to meet you.
Lovely to meet you.
Imtiaz.
Nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Tell me about your property history, what you've done before. Anything as big as this?
Not as big as this, but done another bank and a similar project to this one.
What is the plan here? Is it to keep it as a commercial premise, or what do you want to do?
Well, the ground area will be commercial. We hope we get about 6 shops, and the upstairs will either depend on planning permission. We get maybe flats, maybe offices. So the options are there.
Tell me exactly what's happening on the floor we're on now. So the first floor, what's this going to be?
Maybe 3 flats.
How many beds each?
2 beds.
2 bedrooms.
2 beds, okay. And I guess you've done the maths as to if there's enough room?
Yes.
Okay,
All the calculations have been done.
Yeah. 2 bed flats, 3 2-bed flats, and then upstairs at the top?
Self-contained 1 flat.
Like a studio flat.
Studio flat.
Yeah.
If the couple get the green light for their preferred option of 6 commercial units, 3 2-bed flats and a studio flat, they plan to spend around £150,000 on the project. So everything now hinges on the planning department's decision on the development of this iconic former bank on a busy crossroads location.
So what's your timescale here?
I think it's maybe, after we get planning permission, maybe 2.5 months, 10 weeks, 10 to 12, that's it.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, this is our main project at the moment. We're just concentrating on this at the moment.
Great. Well, it's quite exciting, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Imtiaz and Shabnam have a trusted building team in place to do the work. But even if the couple do get planning approval, there are lots of building criteria to consider, such as tenants' access and parking and fire safety regulations, none of which will be straightforward in a building of this architectural age and setting. Luckily, the couple's daughter Neelam will be helping out with the extensive admin involved, as well as sourcing materials and supplies. So, as a family, do they enjoy working together as a team?
Yes.
We try our best.
Very best of luck, and I can't wait to see the results. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Shabnam and Imtiaz have had success renovating a bank before, but this is a hefty project, and their success really comes down to getting that all-important planning permission. Will they? You can find out later in the show.
Back now to Longsight, south of Manchester city centre, and to this former bank which had a guide price of £400,000. Whoever got their hands on this lot would be buying a rich piece of history. Its location on a busy crossroads was both a bonus and a logistical challenge. No space outside, but plenty inside, and heaps of debris lying around.
Wow, what a mess. There's an awful lot of rubble here, really just heaps and heaps of rubble. You need to get the place cleared out.
And spread over 4 floors.
More rubble, the place is full of the stuff.
It would take someone with an imagination and very deep pockets to make the most of this massive old building. The couple who took this monster on for £650,000 were Imtiaz and Shabnam. They brought extensive property development experience to their project and had a very specific business plan for maximising their returns from this former bank.
Well, the ground area will be commercial. We hope we get about 6 shops, and upstairs, or depend on planning permission, we get maybe 3 flats.
How many beds each?
2 beds.
2 bedrooms.
2 beds, okay. And I guess you've done the maths as to if there's
Yes.
enough room?
Yes.
Okay,
All the
so
calculations have been done.
yeah, that's 3 2-bed flats, and then upstairs at the top?
Self-contained 1 flat.
That ambitious proposal for 6 commercial units on the ground floor, 3 2-bed flats on the first floor and a studio flat on the top floor was all dependent on getting planning approval granted. Their budget for the reconfiguration and conversions was £150,000 and their timescale was 6 months, factoring in the wait for planning permission. We're back just over 2 years later to find out how they got on. Well, business is clearly booming on the ground floor. So far, there are 2 operational businesses on the ground floor with another unit waiting to be occupied. And a basement where work hasn't yet started. So what's the story so far?
Obviously, we wanted more shops, but would only have 3 because of the planning permission. So that's what we got. So that's what we made.
And the council's limitations on the number of units the couple could create wasn't the only challenge they faced.
Because this was originally a bank, plus we were told it's a listed building, we weren't able to take the windows right down to the ground floor. Therefore, we had issues on dividing the units as well. Because you can appreciate it's on the main road and the council would not give permits for the work to be done. So we have come across a lot of issues, to be honest with you.
So as far as the commercial units were concerned, the couple were limited in what they were permitted to do. But what about their plans to develop the upper 2 floors into 4 flats?
Originally, the council has allowed us to have 1 flat, 2 bedroom, but we decided it's more space. Somebody can use it as a commercial.
So the couple have ended up with no flats upstairs, but it is now fully occupied by a hair and beauty salon. What a difference! So from 4 flats to no flats, this project certainly hasn't gone the way Imtiaz and Shabnam had hoped for. And it has taken them 2 years to get this far.
I knew all along that timescale would be a lot longer. He's a very optimistic person. But because we've dealt with the planning permissions and the councils, they take forever. So 6 months was very, hopeful for us, but I knew it wasn't going to happen.
Plus, I had some other project going, which is taking time, and it just took longer than we thought. But we knew what we wanted, and we achieved maximum we could do.
That's how it's done.
So has the couple's original projected spend changed, as the work they've ended up doing is so different from the original proposal.
So our plan was that it would be around about 150,000. We thought it's going to be a lot more because of the size of the building, but touch wood, we got the right people in, and it became lower than we thought, so we're happy about that.
Also, the units, we were expecting to make more, because it's not so many, so that's also the factor.
Well, at this point in the project, the couple have only spent £70,000 and they're starting to generate an income from the property as the businesses currently operating are paying them rent. And once the remaining areas within the building are fully developed, these too can be let out as office space.
Take one step at a time.
The next step is to consult a local property expert for his opinion on what the couple have been able to do in this historic building limited by planning restrictions.
I think it was a good idea to split the property into 4 units. It's a quite high standard finish and quite good standards been maintained. Great location, good footfall, heart of the community, very attractive for the small businesses. Everybody knows the place, so quite easily accessible.
So the agent thinks this is a good spot for business. But what does he think Imtiaz and Shabnam should be expecting in terms of rental income from the occupants?
These 4 commercial units could generate a combined income of £8,500 per calendar month.
That's the minimum we would get.
Yeah, that's minimum.
Well, lips are sealed on the actual rent being paid currently, but even the agent's figure could net the couple a 14% yield on their investment so far. And have they added any value to the property? What if they were to sell it on to another investor?
On the open market, I believe entire building with 4 self-contained commercial units could achieve a resale value of £900,000.
Well, I think personally it would go a lot more than that.
Well, the couple aren't selling, but the agent's figure would represent a potential pre-tax profit of £180,000. So has this protracted project stalled the couple's enthusiasm for property development?
He won't stop, I know that. I think if something comes across like this, good price, he will take that venture. But we learned so much from here that I think the other steps will be a lot easier for us. We've worked all our life, and I think for us to step back is going to be very, very hard. But yeah, that's what we have to learn now, is to take a break.